Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome back to the channel, you guys. It is your girl, Miss Honey, here with a Real Housewives of Potomac review. This is season 5, episode 15. Portugal. Bye. And we are winding down this season. Thank goodness, if I haven't said that before. Let's get into it. We are going to do before the trip to Portugal, after the trip to Portugal, and we will do dinner night and next day conversation. So let's get into it. Before the trip, we see Ashley playing with baby Dean. He's 4 months old at the time. And baby Dean is kind of growing on me a little bit. I just was focused on Ashley sitting down there Indian style. I was like, ooh, the knees of the young child. We see where Giselle is packing and getting ignored by Jamal. She calls him. He immediately rolls her over into voicemail. But I, again, was paying attention to how much Giselle had to scroll through her phone to even find Jamal's name, child. Even if she was scrolling through her last call, outgoing and ingoing list, child, she still had to scroll for her life before she got to Jamal's name. I was like, oh, the scroll game is strong. Robyn is FaceTiming with Wendy and talking about, poor Candace. First of all, the conversation between her and Wendy seemed very, very friendly. Wendy is telling her about how she done made all this food for the next few days because she gone. She gonna be gone to Portugal. And Robyn don't know what she talking about. But again, the conversation is very familiar. They get on the subject of Candace, poor Candace. And because Monique has countersued, which is her right, her legal right to countersue. And how, she just being mean old Monique. And I thought she had, you guys are not in charge of Monique's soul. Okay, mind your business. Mind your business. Monique is doing what she need to do legally. And meanwhile, Candace is at home while they fretting over Candace and what mean old Monique is doing. Candace is at home contemplating buying luggage. And she talking to her mama, so it really sounds like she asking for permission to buy new luggage. Okay, and her mama said, well, you been through a lot, so you go ahead and use the credit card. But it do sound like she trying to get clarity on whether or not she gonna be allowed to charge on her mama's credit card. She is really barely holding up, child. She's such a fragile thing, unpacking all her new items that she's taking to Portugal. I mean, I just don't know how she even had the strength. We see where Monique meets with Karen. First of all, I love this meetup. I love the fact that Monique and Karen were so gracious to one another. Karen wants to put it out there right away and let Monique know that Ashley is planning a trip to Portugal and that she and Ashley both are just so upset about the fact that Monique cannot come. And Monique, at first she seemed like she was hoping to be invited, and then I think it kind of came to her what this conversation was, and she made that adjustment with herself. And she was just like, I can't go anywhere. I need to be with my family. I need to be spending time with my family. Monique could really use a vacation right now. Okay, that fact is not lost on me. She could use a nice vacation, but really, she's got good friends that she could be around in this moment that will be better for her in terms of vacation than these ladies. These ladies, as we gonna see as we go through this episode, spent a lot of time kind of nipping at each other's ankles, trying to see who they can get to bark. You know what I'm saying? To yell out in pain and tell all their tea and tell all their business and get out of pocket. Like everything that went on with Monique, it went on because of that same energy, right? And so the difference is Monique didn't handle it in the best way for her and where she is in life right now. But she's rectifying that. And like I said, she need a vacation, but she can do better than these ladies because they got the right group with them right now over in Portugal, the way they nipping at each other's heels, that they don't have to worry about nobody popping off, or so it seems. So we get to see where Ashley. Okay, so Karen tells her about the trip, and then Monique brings up the fact that Ashley told her about the legal comment. And, like I said, you got to envy Karen's spin game. Karen's spin game was, where I am in my life. If somebody got attacked me like that, or I got into it with somebody like that, and I'm handling it in a legal way because I don't fight. And Monique seemed to accept that. And, it was what it was. The conversation, like I said, was very, very cordial. This is all a part of Monique having to learn really not only who got your back, but, how to handle yourself in these situations going forward. So I love seeing Monique. I really, really love seeing Monique, but her not being in Portugal was the best thing for her. Ashley is at home with Michael, and he is busy trying to make sure Ashley suspects nothing. He is overkill. He got baby Dean. She folding up clothes. He want to know if she went over the schedule with Eve. Eve gonna keep the baby during the daytime. Then he gonna come home after work and have the baby the rest of the evening. I was like, girl, bye. Girl, bye. Oh, anyway. But he got the baby all nuzzled up against him and everything, and just trying to seem like the doting father. And it's just overkill. Ashley stays on task. Are you gonna be good? He was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be great. I'm gonna be good. And you gonna come home every evening. You know what I'm saying? You got any big things planned while I'm gone? Any big meetings, just so I can tell Eve? And he was like, oh, whatever I got going on is coming. I was like, that is not a. What did you? Oh, he was not finna allow her to remove his excuses off the table before the table was even set. He was like, nah. I mean, it's a real cat and mouse game between the two of them, but I think Ashley is definitely the right cat for Michael's itty bitty teeny tiny mouse. So we see where she talks about the fact that she had spoke to Monique after the Portugal decision, and Karen had gotten to her first. She seemed slightly perturbed about that. Ashley did. And, she kind of explained to Monique, the situation, how awkward it would be. And Monique seemed like she was cool with it. She was fine with it. She wasn't trying to make them decide who they was going to pick, who they was going to choose. Again, it is what it is, right? And both of the ladies, Karen and Ashley, seem like they appreciate that. And so Ashley was very clear about the fact that Monique has had her back with regard to basement gate where Michael was running around. Although we've seen video, I don't know if that's a cell phone video or actually video from Monique's basement. But she said that Monique and Chris supported her and Michael through that by not dragging them, by not trying to, spill the tea or get involved in all of that. And she also shared with us the fact that she had told Monique before she told any of the ladies that her and Michael had an open relationship for a period of time during their marriage. And they was both with different, with other sexes or messing with other people. I don't know how it go, child. But when you start adding so many people to the guest list, you bound to lose track of stuff. But anyway, so and she said that Monique knew, and Monique never said a word to anybody. She's telling us that Monique has been a loyal friend to her, and she hasn't done anything to harm her or to comfort her, or what I'm saying? Like, it's very telling. It's very, very telling, like the difference in terms of their relationship. Okay, how Monique has behaved, how Monique responds. I mean, y'all can say whatever y'all want to say about Monique, but Team Monique. And apparently Ashley feels the same way too, until she don't, but it is what it is. Okay, so then after the trip, they're in Madeira, Portugal. It is a 19-hour trip, I'm assuming. That seems like a lot. I don't know. They're at the Savoy Palace Hotel. Looks like a very nice hotel. All of the ladies have beautiful suites. All of the ladies call home. Of all of the phone calls we got to hear, Giselle's was the saddest. Like, he is always busy when she calls. It is never, ever, ever, hey, baby, it's good to see you. Hey, sweets. Hey, darling. Hi, honey. It's never any of that. It is so apparent that this relationship is bullcocky. It is so apparent. And if it's not bullcocky on Giselle's end, it makes it that much more sad. It's just, it's horrible. They go to dinner at the hotel. We see Karen with her milk, and she's talking about an ulcer. Ashley don't really think she got an ulcer. They think Karen just prepping her stomach because she gonna be drinking. But I agree with Ashley. I think she trying to hold that drinking in the road because she knows she might talk too much when she get to drinking. And that's what you're supposed to do. It's smart. But it's better to get one drink and nurse it all night than it is not to drink at all, in my opinion. Toasting with milk, I was just like, that's déclassé. So we see where Wendy once again proves that she loves the sound of her own voice. And she tells this story about her dad working in this restaurant. And he became the manager, and he was such a great employee. The restaurant owner decided to name his first daughter. I think this was the story after this manager, which is who is her father, his daughter. But I think Wendy is older. No, his dad. I don't know. But of course, she brought the degrees into it. You know, you got to say the word degrees at least 3 times in every conversation. And it was just ridiculous. Like I said, she loves the sound of her own voice. So Karen tries to respond to it with clarity, you know, just saying, I support people to get degrees. I'm all about higher education and all of that. Giselle responds to Karen's comment of clarity to Wendy, like Karen is talking to her. Well, that's not how you acted. Ain't nobody talking to you, Giselle. Ain't nobody talking to you. You talking to everybody but Jamal. Boo. And so Wendy was like, oh, it's over. It's fine. You don't have to explain to me that we've closed that conversation, and I took care of that, and I buttoned it. I put a button on it. It's done. And Karen is like, oh, okay. That's fine. But then we see where Giselle kind of starts in on Ashley, you know, asking her a little bit of business about Michael. What's going on? You okay with Michael? And how did Michael handle you leaving the baby and all of this? And Ashley kind of tries to keep it in the role. You know, it's not about me. I'm enjoying myself. I'm having a good time, and Michael is fine. And here come Wendy. I was like, oh, okay, so this monster got 3 heads. We got 3 heads again this season because Wendy has attached herself to Giselle and Robyn train. I don't know how Robyn feel about that because we're going to see where Robyn pulls away a little bit and tries to come for both Wendy and Giselle in the confessional. Oh, okay, let's see what it gives. So Wendy asked Ashley about, you know, last time you was away, he did some things he shouldn't have done. Are you worried about him while you away now? And Ashley was like, no. And Karen was like, let's talk about Jamal. Let's talk about where Jamal at. You always asking about Ashley business. Giselle, you know what I'm saying? Like bump Wendy. You always asking about Giselle, you always asking about all these other ladies' business and getting into the meat of they matter, but you don't never bring up Jamal. Where is Jamal? Why is Jamal never here? Why is he never at any events with you in Potomac supporting you? Well, first of all, she don't have no events. The girl hadn't even had a housewarming party, as far as we know. Like, boo. Okay. And Giselle gets defensive. And Karen lets it settle down, and she said, well, I just want to know, is he not proud of you? Oh, he is very proud. He is very, very proud. And I mean, she went in. Giselle was like, that's the end of the conversation. I don't have to have him around to feel like I'm a man. I don't have to prove him to you. I don't have to introduce you to him. I don't have to bring him around you. And just, you know, and that's effing it. That's it. and it's not up for discussion. That's it. And would you know it? Wouldn't you know it? Robyn chimes in and says, well, it does seem odd that he is supposed to be such a special person in your life, and you never share that with us. You never share it with him. And Giselle looked like she had been stung in her bottom lip, like zip. Like she got her bottom lip stung real quick. I mean, oop. Okay. And she felt a type of way about Robyn chiming in on Karen's behalf. All Robyn is saying is that Karen's got a valid point. Giselle didn't like that. So she does not take that well. We see where they all break it up and go on back to their rooms and stuff. Ashley calls Michael 7 times. He don't answer. She calls the Eve, and Eve is saying baby Dean is fussy because he ready to go to bed. Now it's 7 p.m. in the States where they are. And he fussing, he ready to go to bed. I was like, 7 o'clock seemed real early. You know what I'm saying? If you want a baby to sleep through the night. But what do I know? I ain't got no children, child. And she keeps calling. He finally answers. He say he on his way home. On his way home is what people say when they know they late. I'm on my way. I'm on the road, around the corner, all of this. And she kind of goes in on him and a little bit about it, just kind of whiny and stuff. And he snaps on her, hangs up the phone, and she starts crying about how she miss her baby. She miss her baby. She feel like her baby is fussy because she not there. And this has become a little bit of a pattern where we're seeing where Ashley is taking a lot of the responsibility of what's going on in her relationship as it pertains to Dean and Michael, and her and Michael on the responsibility on herself. So then we see where that same night after dinner, Giselle and Robyn get together, and they kind of skirt around the conversation about Jamal, and Giselle feel like Robyn should have her back, and she kind of kids about the fact that she want Robyn to always side with her. It came across in a kidding fashion, but she was letting Robyn know, don't do that again. You pull me to the side, boo. You pull me to the side. Meanwhile, in the confessional, Robyn reiterates what her original thought was. You don't share it with us, and that's something about that ain't right. It don't seem right. It ain't cool like what it gives. Next day, we see where Candace is writing out sticky notes of affirmations. You're okay. You're fine. Don't forget to be dramatic. Remember to bring your tissue so you can dab the corner of your eye. Remember to try to insert yourself in the conversation whenever possible so that you can seem relevant. Remember to continue to paint Monique as the villain. Remember not to take any accountability. Those kind of affirmations, that you give yourself when you delusional, okay? When you have a distorted view of yourself as the victim. Okay. Then we see where Ashley and Karen get together, and Ashley's suite is beautiful. The city of Portugal is beautiful. It looks like it will be a really, really, really good trip. We see where they talk about Giselle and the fact that Karen and Giselle's relationship is off and on, that type of thing. They've always kind of had this tension between the two of them. And Ashley kind of says that Karen was being a little bit aggressive in the conversation, like it wasn't coming across in this helpful type manner, even though Karen kept saying she was saying it out of concern for Giselle when she was asking about Jamal. Now this bull cocky, but like I said, Karen, a couple of episodes ago, Karen and Ashley both have a good spin game. They know how to spin situations and conversation and incidences in a way where it seems like they weren't, that far left or that far right, or the situation isn't that serious, or they only took it on the chin. It's the bullshit speed, right? They also talk about Michael, and we learn in this moment that she tells Karen that she had this explosive moment on Michael, and she really exploded on him. He called her back after he hung up, and he apologized. They showed a little clip of how he just immediately called, like he had rehearsed that apology. Hey babe, I just want to tell you I'm sorry. I should have come home. I didn't realize I was that late, and da 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 da, yada yada yada. I'm sorry. I'm really really sorry. Okay. And she is like, oh, thank you so much. That made me feel better. Like he disarmed it. He disarmed it. He didn't want to hear no questions from you. He didn't want you thinking about it anymore. He didn't want you calling around, double checking. He didn't want you doing any of those things. So he went ahead and apologized. Okay. And showed you his soft underbelly so you could drop the whole situation, because he knows that he is continually on camera. Okay. Camera. I'm about to really go out here and pop off, and I don't need all these eyes and ears on me. So I need her to just calm it on down and move on past it. Okay, so then we see where the girls go. Karen was very suspicious about that. And she says, is that enough for you? Is that okay for you? And Ashley was like, yeah, I had a moment of growth about it. See, this is what I'm saying. You grew from that situation. How did he grow? You saying his apology was growth? Oh, okay, that's fine. The girls go on a cable car 1, cable car 2. In cable car 1, we got Wendy, Ashley, and Giselle. They talk. Giselle immediately wants to ask about Michael. Now, they did ask about Jamal in the car, and she was like, oh, yeah, I talked to my crew. This Giselle. And I talked to my crew, and I talked to Jamal. I talked to the girls, and I talked to Jamal. You know, like, I talked to him, right? But let's talk about you and Michael. How was Michael? Did you talk to Michael? And Ashley was like, yeah, he's fine. Everything's fine. You know, she just kind of try to, gather it up. Try to, move on past it. And Wendy, once again, brings up the degrees when Ashley tries to deflect from the Michael conversation. How about you and Karen? You and Karen okay? That was an intense conversation. This Ashley. And Wendy brings up the degrees and all of this. And we see in cable car number 2, Robyn, Karen, and Candace. Candace, of course, is in the mirror. She's always in the mirror now. She don't have no sticky notes on her phone for affirmations. She's always in the mirror on her phone as well. She's always selfieing and looking at herself and all that type of thing. No affirmations here. She seems fine, bless her heart. But she got her ears open, right? Because Robyn brings up Ashley's business. You think Ashley's fine? You think she's okay? You think what is going on with that? And Karen, kind of holds it in the road in terms of talking about Ashley. They're going through a tough time. She keeps it real general. Robyn tries to share a couple of crumbs from her marriage. Of course, she's not trying to hold Juan accountable. She's not trying to tell all Juan's tea about how he tipped out on her when she had her babies, and how he was never coming home and all of this kind of stuff. I guess it's supposed to make her slightly relatable. I mean, okay, Robyn, we see where they get back on the other side. It's a beautiful cable car ride. They get on the other side. They have lunch. And, somebody asked, what did everybody talk about in the cable car ride? And, Giselle says to Wendy, because this is her verbal poke to Wendy, we talked about you and Wendy, and I don't think y'all ever got the chance to finish that conversation, did you, from last night? And Karen was like, yeah, it was finished. It was done. She buttoned it up. So yeah, I mean, it's a wrap. So we've all moved on. And here comes Wendy. Well, I did want to unbutton it, right? Because you've got your verbal cue. We see where the next morning the ladies all get together before they take the cable car trip. You mean to tell me that Wendy didn't reach out to Giselle? Come on now. Or Giselle didn't reach out to Wendy or Robyn. She is apparently close to the two of them. Maybe one in a little bit more than the other. I got a sneaky suspicion that Wendy and Giselle are kind of working together, because we're seeing it in this trip. And Wendy says, oh, I want to unbutton it when you mention degrees. And then she goes through the whole thing that she has already told everybody about being pregnant while writing her dissertation, and her father passing away while writing her dissertation. And she is so, it's like blah, blah, blah. Want, 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 want. Be proud of me. Be proud of me. Be proud of me. Please be proud of me. I need everyone to be proud of me. I need accolades, 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 because without these accolades, I cannot feel worthy. I don't feel valuable. It's not my children that make me feel valuable. Having a beautiful family, having a husband that loves me. No, it's the degrees. The degrees are the height and the breadth of my value. Karen says, oh, duck. She diffuses it. If I made you feel bad, I am sorry. I apologize. My delivery didn't come off the way I meant to. I didn't mean, she just whatever. Suck it. Shut up. Deal with it. It's fine. Whatever you need to let this go and move on. Let's move on. This is what Karen gives her. Again, Karen shows her maturity here. And she's been doing that through this whole season. She's shown a level of maturity, except when she was drunk in the basement of Monique's lake house. But anyway, so she then moves on to Giselle. Y'all ain't finna distract me. I'm going back to Giselle and Jamal. And this is what I was trying to say about you and Jamal. My concern came out of concern for you. Okay, here's the bullshit spin. Giselle. Okay, my concern came out of what I want for you and what you deserve. You just need to be cautious. And Giselle is like, you first of all, you don't need to worry about what's going on with me and Jamal. And the whole time they're going back and forth, Giselle calls Jamal and Jamal answers right away. Again, are we so dumb that we do not realize that Giselle had already talked to Jamal and told Jamal they're going to be filming a scene. And when she calls him, he just needs to be gracious. He needs to answer, number one. Number two, be gracious and speak to everybody and then get off. And she needs him to at least do that. Okay, he concedes. So when she calls, he picks right up. Now, other time, have we ever seen her call him on this show and he pick up? Now, another time. We either come in on the conversation visually or we see where she is rolled over to voicemail constantly. Even when we do come in on conversation, the conversation is dry as communion crackers, as tasteless as communion crackers, as boring as communion crackers. Okay, no salt, no nada. Okay, but this time she calls at a table full of girls and he picks right up and speaks to everybody, and everybody's forced to wave and say hey to Karen, and Karen says hello Jamal. And as soon as she hangs up, Wendy goes, oh, I guess she told you back the F up out of her business. And she, she didn't say it to Karen, but she was saying, in other words, saying, what a way to say, get the F out of my business. You know what I'm saying? She rah-rahing her girl Giselle. Wendy is. And Karen just delivers the final blow, baby. When I tell you she gut punched the hell out of Giselle when she said, listen, we all know that Jamal lives in your phone. Ooh! We all have been aware for some time that Jamal lives in your phone. But when will we see him, if ever? In the flesh, darling. In the flesh. Okay? When I tell you, Giselle looked like she could have eaten her entire bottom jaw, just sucked it straight down her throat. Oh, yes. This the second time you done got stung in your lip by Miss Karen. This is the second time she has verbally busted you in your mouth. Okay. He lives in your phone, darling. Oh my gosh. Wendy, where you at, girl? Where you at? Where are you? Where are you? Oh my gosh. What do you guys think? That is the episode. What did you guys think of this episode? Are we loving Karen or what? Like, Karen. Oh, Karen, darling. Okay. Girl, you better straddle that fence. You best to straddle it. What y'all think about Robyn coming for Giselle? Huh? Even in the confessionals, she gonna see that, Robyn. She gonna see that. Robyn said, I gotta think about my future. I don't know how long I'll be able to ride this Giselle train. Wendy. Boo. I said boo. Okay. But that's the episode. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Next week is going to be a doozy. It is going to be a doozy. And I'm sure, just like this week, we are going to miss Monique. Okay. So that's it for me, you guys. You guys tell me what you think of this episode. Put it down below. And until next time, honeybees. Mwah, mwah, mwah.